Think about a deck of playing cards: red, black, hearts, diamonds, spades, and aces. Representations of kings and queens of yesteryear depicted on face cards. And Sharif Muhammad wasn't happy about what he was seeing.
I was playing cards with my kids and realized that the kings and queens are all white. And they've always been all white, and that's just it's just the status quo.
Muhammad decided to come up with an alternative, drawing on his background in graphic design and digital art.
I just wanted to make a few decks for my family, but I posted on Facebook, just kind of laid out the cards, and the response I got was unbelievable.
Powerful portraits of black and brown people make up the deck of his black cards. Close to 1,500 decks are now in the homes of people all over the country. Muhammad sells the cards on his website along with his digital art prints. His goal? To evoke a full spectrum of emotions detailing the black experience in America.
They're totally imagined people, but there is a model out there somewhere who has that face or a similar face, but they represent all of us. The mainstream basically is white, and so if you're a brown person, you are well aware of that. I want to put black and brown people at the center. It's not about not representing white people, it's about representing people who are unrepresented.
Muhammad says when he began to create his art, he had no clear direction or inspiration. That all changed when he had kids.
I started to think about when we walk into an art gallery, what are they seeing? Who are they seeing up on the walls? Who's creating the paintings? I at some point realized I want to paint black and brown people because I want my kids to see themselves represented everywhere.
Muhammad is an art teacher at Boston Day and Evening Academy, but he didn't always see himself as an innovator or even an artist.
I used to say, I'm not an artist. I paint, but I'm not an artist, right? And I had a student in my class today said the same exact thing to me. And I was like, if you love to create art, you love to view art, then you're an artist.
For 20 years, Muhammad has sought to instill that belief within his students. His classroom pops with color, his artwork papering the walls. He started with oil painting, but as technology changed, he changed with it.
I've been creating art using an iPad, so it's digital art. I create digital paintings. I use my stylus pen. I create them at really high resolutions because I know I want to create prints from them.
He says the digital prints and the cards are a far cry from oil paintings he was once so familiar with.
The thing about original paintings, they're expensive to buy. And so what that means is that I would sell artwork of black and brown people to white people who had money at the time. That didn't feel right. And there's nothing wrong with white people buying black and brown artwork. However, if the artwork is about a certain people, those people should be able to afford to buy the artwork. So now you can buy a print for $35 as opposed to spending $1,000 for a piece.
For Muhammad, it all comes back to ensuring all kids feel seen.
It's bigger than having people create art. It's telling them that they matter, that they're important, that they're worthy of being on a wall in a museum.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
And you heard Sharif say that he initially made the cards for his mom, his siblings, and his friends.
Well, now they're being sold in 10 different locations from Boston to California. He's currently working on a new version of the card. For more information, check out our website. And Sharif will actually have his artwork on display on an outdoor mural in Boston in the near future.
Talented fellow.
Yeah.
Still to come, life lessons on the tennis court.